Okay, this would have said Toro Greens Master 3000 something or other, and I'll put it in the title, so if you stumble onto this video you'll know what I'm talking about. This is a greens mower for a golf course. It's a Toro GM. This might be back to the early 90s, maybe older. We've got some of these that are go back to like 50 years old. We're still using them. This one, instead of having mower blades on, has verticutter blades. It's for verticutting the greens, taking out the thatch. But very simple. Just put a Honda engine in it. It's a hydraulic pump, your lever, your valves and such. Real simple to operate. That's why we still use them. The newer ones have a hydraulic steering setup. This one does it. These old ones don't. You're basically steering up here, and you got these cables that run down here on a pulley system. See these pulleys here, and then they go to the back. So you got this, I guess you could call this a spindle or whatever, and this is the shaft that turns this wheel. It's a three-wheeler. You got a steering wheel in the back and then two drive wheels. Now, this happened to me a couple of times where I use an aftermarket company to buy parts for these, and these cables will wear out and come apart, and then you're done. And so if you know what machine you have, and you typically know what length these are, there's some companies you can order them from. 99% of the time you get the right one. Twice, where I knew what I was doing, knew the dimensions and everything else, they sent me cables that were too long. And when I mean too long, you could bolt these things down all the way. There's some room for adjustment here, but you bolt this thing down all the way and there would be slack in it. You can't have any slack of these. Okay, it's like a guitar string. All right. Now, if you get one that's too short, you're screwed. I don't know what to tell you there. But if you got one of these greens mowers and you've got the cable steering system, and if you order cables and they're too long, I've done this several times and it works. And basically, I put 3 knots in it. Okay, that takes up the slack and it works perfectly. See, I still have some room left here, so it gives me that I can really get this thing down tight by putting 3 knots in it. But the trick is nowhere to put the knots. And what I do when I set this up, straighten this wheel out. Okay, if right now you can see where the cable is and where the knots are, the wheel's kind of going straight. I'm going to turn left all the way. Boom, it's as far left as we can go. And then I come down here and take a look, and this has not touched this pulley here. See, I still got room. So what I would do when I did this, let's say I turned it all the way left, I'll take a marker or a piece of masking tape and put it here. This is before I put the knots in. I'm going to put a mark here. Then we're going to turn right, go the other way. Boom, that's the end of the line there. And now I'm going to go over here to this pulley and make another mark. Now I'll do this for both of them. I do them one at a time. So I got a mark here, and I got a mark over here somewhere. So when I unhook this to take it off, I know between these 2 marks, I got to put my 3 knots. Then I can put it back on. They're not tight like this when you make them. You can't. This takes a little bit of time. But you'll put 3 knots in here, and as you steer, these will tighten up. So let's say you did this and you put it on. You're going to drive it around a little bit, turn it, these will tighten up. Then you'll make a little adjustment because you'll get some slack as these tighten up. And then slowly, as these get tight, where there's no more tightening going on, you'll run this thing out, and then you get that guitar string you're looking for. Like I said, we have another one at a golf course right now. We've been running for 2.5 years, just like this. It's still going. Accidentally, I think it's just they packaged it wrong. You end up with a cable that's too long. Because I've done this 100 times. I know what I'm ordering, and then I get something that's the wrong size. So if you got a steering cable that's too long, you could put it, and it's not, it takes 3. We've done all these, we've done this enough where it's 3 knots will take out that slack. But you got to figure out where you're going to put it. And so if you go to your extreme left, make a mark, extreme right, make another mark, take this off, put your knots in it, tighten it back up, do the same thing to the other, same process. And then as you move it around a little, give it a little, put it under load, these will start to tighten it up. You'll readjust here each time. And you could do this in the morning, drive it a little bit, by lunch you're mowing again. Anyhow, if you got a Toro Greens mower and they send you a cable that's too long, you can survive it by putting 3 knots on either side, and it'll pull up all that slack. Anyhow, have a good one.